again from that one guy. This is a knife that I just got done making. This one I actually designed and built myself. It's got a brass bolster, leopard wood handle, and the steel is D2 tool steel. And the maker's mark there, the bear paw, is that's my maker's mark. So I have to go over a few things. Oh, before I do that, it is sharp. It's sharp enough to shave, and my brother's going to demonstrate that real quick.
Make sure I'm good in frame.
Let me see. Looks good. I know some of you might cringe at that, but it's just to show you that this thing is sharp.
There you go.
Not dull, okay? So, oh, here's the sheath. Should have waited till he put his coat back on. It's all good. It's a little snow won't hurt.
Wasn't on camera. You have no proof.
Okay. So, just real quick, I'm going to go over some things. Like I've talked about in earlier videos, I do have a martial arts system. I have not named it yet because, well, I haven't said the name out loud because I've been a little leery about that. And I think it's mainly has to do with a lot of these yahoos you see online. You know, oh, I can knock you out with just the wave of my hand, and people who come up with their own style or they expand on an existing style, they get a bad rap because of all these idiots out there. So I'm actually going to tell you what it is because I have nothing to prove to myself. I know what I can do and what my capabilities are. But you do not. So I'm going to go over that with these videos. That's what this whole YouTube channel is about. Me trying to get back into better shape and back into my discipline so that I can do this on a daily basis. So the first style that me and a friend trained in and came up with it's called Akakaze Ryu. And depending on your translation, Ryu can either mean style or dragon. It depends on translation. There's a lot of different weird things with Japanese. The second one is Akagawa Ryu, and roughly translates to Red River. Red River style, Red Wind style, Red River Dragon, Red Wind Dragon. It just depends on your translation. But that's basically what it is. Red River style, that's one that I came up with that expanded on my friend's style, which is that Akakaze. And he does oblique striking. That means you're striking in strange angles. Okay, you're not just doing straight on punches. You're actually, you know, coming in at strange and awkward angles to strike your opponent. A good example of like oblique striking is like drunken boxing almost. You know, they do a lot of weird things that you wouldn't expect. Almost the same sort of thing. You're kind of coming in at different angles. Anyway, get that out of the way. We're going to do multiple targets today. So we're going to kind of show you how to transition from target to target. And we're going to start off with the Sinbad. That's what I named this one. And we'll go from there. Okay? Please excuse the cars going by. I have to do this at my place, and we obviously live in the suburbs, so there's a road going through our town. Anyway, might take me a second. This is kind of take two, but all right, just bear with me here. Oh, that one was closer than I thought. second one didn't get cut. All right, so kind of explain it a little bit. The whole main thing is when you're doing multiple targets and it's in an actual conflict, you're going for the person that's going to be the biggest threat or the closest to you. Okay, if it's hand-to-hand type of fighting, they are the ones that are going to be able to give you damage first, so they're going to be the first ones you go to. You can do kind of the same thing when imagining water bottles are bad guys, but anyway, that's the whole thing. You're focusing on the targets, you're imagining what you're fighting, and then you go for it. If you mess up on some things, it's not that big a deal. Okay, that's why you train. That's why you keep doing this, so that you get better and better. We're gonna set up. You know, now that I'm wet, we're gonna reset, and we'll come right back.
Right, so I'm Eli. You recognize me from Goofy Intros. Now, I'm not a martial artist. I'm not into martial arts really generally. I like knives though. I mostly use them as a practical thing for skinning a deer in the field. And, come on, they're cool. So I'm just going to take a few swings here, just kind of seeing what this is like. I know my brother designed it to have more of a saber grip as opposed to a straight hammer grip, so we'll see how somebody who does not practice this sort of thing does with piss poor edge alignment. Okay. And
I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm going to lose some points in style, but hopefully make up for it with enthusiasm. Okay. Let's see.
All I ever wanted. Good cut.
Okay. Should I do this sneak up?
Ninja style. Whoa. Good cut.
Okay. I thought I missed that one, but it's a gusher. Okay.
Good cut. All right.
Listen,
Now that he's wet, we're gonna reset.
Right. Like I said, though, I'm not a martial artist, not into the whole martial arts thing. I just like knives, and as you can see, somebody who doesn't even concern himself with practicing, like what is edge alignment, still, with a knife like this, I mean, come on, it's fun. Okay.
Okay, so this is the other blade that, again, I designed, came up with. You probably have seen this in a teaser. Hopefully that has already been uploaded to YouTube by the time you see this one. This is a sword that I came up with. It's a short sword that I came up with for my wife. She's always wanted something fantasy, you know, that sort of thing. And I came up with this while I was listening to the audiobook of Lord of the Rings. The saya or sheath that it's in right now is made of poplar. It will eventually be sanded down a little bit more and covered in leather, but right now it's just what it is to keep it safe. This one is very sharp. Again, it will shave. It's made out of 80 CRV 2, which is a very good blade steel. We have imitation mother of pearl for the handle, and some red mosaic type pins in there for her. It's not exactly as polished as I would like it yet, but you know, it's getting there. In the teaser, it was dull. Okay, I could literally run on my arm and not cut myself. If I tried to do that right now, it would cut through my coat and my arm very easily. I did some cuts with this on, again, excuse the cars. Okay, hopefully you can hear me now. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Cuts with it.
Say again?
You did some cuts?
Oh, I did some cuts with it already on some pumpkin and on some watermelon, and I think some water jugs as well. We're going to do the same thing we just did with the Sinbad. This one hasn't gotten a name yet because I'm going to let my wife name it because it's her sword. But again, I did design it. It's kind of a mix between like a bolo machete and a kopis. Very similar in shape and size. But anyway, we'll get to it. I'm just going to hold the sheath so I don't put it in the mud here.
Hang on. I got it.
Say what?
Your daughter's boot fell off. I just had to...
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right. So let's see here. I'm going to do this one. Okay. I want to do a couple of double cuts on that one.
Quite effective.
So yes, very awesome blade. This thing is just a sweet cutter. It blows through them like they're not even there. And it does the same with coconuts and watermelon and pumpkin and whatever else you want to do. Fan-freaking-tastic. Enough about that. We're going to reset again and we'll keep cutting. Okay, so each one of your strikes should not start in your upper torso. Okay, they should start in the ground. Okay, when I'm throwing a strike, okay, I am moving my whole body. I'm not just flicking. Okay, you can do a flick cut, but if you're trying to actually cut limbs off or things like that, you're having to put something behind it. I don't know if that sounds too gory or not, but okay, so I don't know. Okay, see if I can do this. Whoa! You don't want to necessarily start off doing multiple targets. You've probably seen a lot of videos on YouTube, Scalagrim, Scala Gladiatoria. There's a lot of different ones, even Zombie Go Boom. But the whole idea is you start off small, okay? You start with one target, and you get good at that one cut over and over again, okay? Then you can figure out, okay, now I'm transitioning, I'm doing a cut here, now I'm twisting my body, I'm cutting here, I'm striking, you know, you can do those sorts of things. Think about it like a baby, okay? You got to crawl before you can walk, before you can run. Same thing. Start off crawling. This is fun, very fun. Sometimes it can be cool. It's very cool. But you don't want to start here, okay? Start with a single target, work your way up to multiple targets, and it'll make it so then your accuracy is where you want it to be, okay? So, anyway, we're going to reset again. I don't know if we'll keep doing this one. This one's really fun, but we might switch to the larger hand-and-a-half sword from Cold Steel and do a couple cuts with that.
I just have to point out for people who couldn't see, when that landed, still upright.
I'm not trying to show off, I swear.
Now, you may be wondering why plastic bottles. That's very simple. You see, we believe in recycling. Greta, I'm actually doing something. Okay. Before I make the internet matter, here we go.
Good cut. He wanted to do one more with the short sword, so we'll go to the long sword now.
Too much fun.
All right, so this is the 1.5-hand sword, the what do they call it, man-at-arms sword from Cold Steel. We'll see if we can do anything with it. Now it's different with the long sword, just because this is a pretty confined space, but we'll see if I can do anything. Ah, shit, did I cut the...
No, you're good.
Okay, I thought I cut the rope. I pulled out my katana and my Zatoshi the other night just to kind of play around, and I don't know if that's the proper name for it, the Zatoshi. It's from the movie Zatoshi, or Zato Ishi, if you're pronouncing it like you're supposed to. But this is a beast compared to them. They are freaking light. And I think that's where some of this whole long swords were super heavy came from, because it is heavier than the katana, but it is not super heavy. This thing is light, it's nimble, you're able to move it. The first cut I did was going for 3 bottles. I don't know if I wasn't moving fast enough or if my edge wasn't quite right, but I think one of the bottles flew away.
No, you got it.
Oh, I did get it, okay.
Yeah, you got all 3.
I got all 3, okay. And then I also thought I hit the rope, but anyway. When you're doing a cut with a long sword, it's a little bit different. Any sword that's longer that you're supposed to use with 2 hands, okay? Yes, you can use this with 1 hand, it's, you know, light, but a lot of the techniques are used with 2 hands, okay? There's a little bit more, there's different, I shouldn't say more techniques, more like different technique that you're going to use with a 2-handed sword as opposed to a single-handed sword. So I'm going to let Eli give it a try. Eli's been setting up while I'm talking. And we'll go from there. I think we're having a little bit too much fun. Sun's starting to go down a little bit, and it's starting to get cold, but we're still out here cutting water because it's fun.
Just keep recording.
Oh, by the way, I did not do anything to the edge. I honed it a little bit after cutting all the oak from the other video. So basically brought it back to the edge it was, but it's still not shaving sharp. And a lot of people think that you need to have a shaving sharp edge on a sword. It's not necessarily always the case. You're going to have a more robust edge by not having a shaving edge. And it's going to be able to still bite and obviously cut very easily. But it's not necessarily going to be damaged every time you swing it too. So, all right, we'll keep recording and you just go ahead and have fun.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to try to get multiple targets with 1 hit because this is a little longer than I'm used to, and I don't want to hit his heavy bag. Never hear the end of that.
Okay. You'd hear the end of it once you got me a new one. Oh, mister, I'm not going to do multiple targets.
Well, you see, I was going to do a thing, but then I changed my mind. I'll just try to stab this one. Nope. Okay.
Decapitation!
For the...
For my homies. Alright, I'm going to stop it.
One thing you may have noticed when I was swinging this sword as opposed to the shorter one is I was standing a lot more still. We have a pretty muddy ground here, and I'm more used to the one-handed one. I like a lot of axes, hatchets, tomahawks. But when I'm moving with the one-handed one, I can use my arm for balance. I'll go take a strike, I can have that, I can rotate, and I can sort of just use my arm to help keep myself balanced. With this one, I have to have my feet planted in a way that as I do the strikes, I'm not going to throw myself off. Don't want to overextend, overcommit. So it's just a total, it's a different set of movements, different body mechanics. That's why I was slowed down on these a bit, try to take my time. Because I'm not super experienced with this sort of thing.
Still super fun though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. So I cut one, it's like, I can do two.
That's also what she said. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's reset, and then the next one I'm going to do is with, I think I showed it on the first video, was my Cold Steel Tie Light. I got that in the mail and was unboxing it. Absolutely love this thing. But I'm going to kind of show you how you can use a knife like this to almost do the same thing that we're doing here. I'm going to say it. You can do the same thing. Difference is distance and timing. Just like with anything, martial arts is all based on timing. If you can affect someone else's timing, you've affected their technique. Does that make sense? Okay, so if, say, someone's coming at you and they say, okay, I've done this punch 1,000 times. Another loud truck. Sorry, we live in the mountains. We typically have to have trucks. Okay, so, like someone can be standing there and be like, okay, I've done this punch 1,000 times. I know I'm coming right to that point and I'm going to retract, okay? Now, if you stop them here, that throws their timing off, okay? They're trying to do that full extension and they're not able to do it. Same thing can be done with swords, with knives, with pretty much anything, okay? You're just affecting that person's timing. And it can be as simple as taking a step back or taking a step forward. You're throwing that person's timing off, okay? If someone's coming in at a big sweeping swipe, okay, taking a step away is not necessarily a good idea, especially if they've got some length with their sword. You're probably going to get hit. But if you step toward them, you can step within the strike and stop them before they have enough inertia and velocity to be really to have as much power. Okay. All right. So we're going to do this one. It's going to be kind of interesting. I'm going to start from the pocket, as if I'm just every day, I'm carrying. Okay. So as if I was walking. I was completely oblivious. I walked into the middle of, oh crap, now I got to defend myself, okay? That's where I'm coming from with this, okay? Ready? It's that quick. It's that simple. You should be surprising your opponents, okay? They might think they have the upper hand, or they may even actually have the upper hand from having a lot of experience in this. You want to throw them off. So I'm not going to be standing there and going, okay, let's do it, guys. My knife was in my pocket, now it's in this guy's throat. I've cut him behind me, that, just going from point to point. Okay, cutting one target, moving to the next. That simple. All right, so I hope you guys like this. A little bit shorter form than my usual videos, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I know the long-winded can sometimes be a little boring. Anyway, see you guys on the next one. Please like and subscribe and share down below. Make sure you turn on the bell. See you on the next one.
What is this? This is unacceptable. Leave Bubba Wallace alone. He doesn't deserve this.